Hey guys, what's up and welcome to Z Reviews Tech, and I have the Oukitel Mix 2 here, and you know what, at this point I reviewed so many bezel-less phones that they all kind of blur together, but the Oukitel Mix 2 is a Helio P20 phone with a 6-inch screen, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and so the specs here are pretty decent, they're mid-range decent, and so I'm pretty excited to see what we have in this box over here. So let's open this up and see what kind of stuff Oukitel has included with the phone itself. So we have the phone here. Let's open this up and see what else we have. So that's empty. I don't know if there's supposed to be something in there, or is that supposed to be empty? I have no idea. Hopefully it's supposed to be empty. I would be very sad if they didn't include something there. Now, what else do we have here? Okay, so that's supposed to be empty. So here we have the charger. That's a European charger. I'm 99% sure that's European now. We have a cable, a micro USB cable. Unfortunately, still no USB-C. And we have a pin popper. And here we have the warranty card. And finally, the Oukitel Mix 2 user manual. So let's put all this stuff back in and we'll start getting real with the phone. So the phone here comes with a case, but it's one of those crappy ones. It's not like the good one that Verni included. I'm going to take the case away and put that aside for now. And then I have the screen. I took it off here because it had the IMEI. I'm going to take the front screen off as well. Nice. So Oukitel has very wisely included a screen protector on the front as well as on the back, which is understandable considering that this phone is glass on the front and glass on the back. And even the sides here, they're chromed metal, so they're very heavy. They feel nice, but this phone is definitely a hefty phone. You can definitely feel how heavy it is as you're holding it, and it's very dense as well. Yeah, I'm not a fan of glass phones on the back because it just makes it slippery and there's fingerprints everywhere. It's a little bit less bad on this because there's a screen protector, but you still can see the fingerprints that collect on the screen protector itself. So yeah, guys, come on, let's start making phones that are not glass on the back. Going through the features of the phone, we have a fingerprint sensor here, dual cameras, LED flash, and here we have the power and the volume rockers, the SIM slots, and a headphone jack. Hey, that's not something we find every day. And we also have a micro USB port here. There's no USB. So let's turn this phone on and see what the bezels are like on the Oukitel Mix 2. Alright, so I've turned the phone on and I've set up the Google account in here. But from this home screen, you probably can't see very well the bezels on the side and the top. So I'm going to open the Google Play Store because everything's white. And you'll be able to see better. So as you can see, the side bezels here are a little bit big. And even if you take into account the curved outward edge, the side bezels here are not small. The top bezels are pretty average, the same as the Maze Alpha, so that's pretty good. The bottom bezel here is, well, it's not big, but it's also not small either, but they didn't put a fingerprint sensor here. The fingerprint sensor is on the back over there. But yeah, overall, the Oukitel Mix 2, this is a tri-bezel-less phone, and the 3 bezels are fairly small, but they're not absolutely tiny like a Galaxy S8 or the first generation Mi Mix. That being said, it's still okay. Let's take a look at what the screen on the Oukitel Mix 2 has to offer. And this is a 5.99 inch or 6-inch 2160 by 1080 phone. And this screen is a very good screen, but as I'm watching my camera, I can see that the video actually makes the phone screen look better than it really is. So those reds on the rooftops as well as the dramatic red sky, it's not as red as that. It's nice, but it's definitely not that deep saturated red that you only get on AMOLED screens. And here as well, you can see that everything is very deep and very saturated. Well, it's not as deep and saturated. It's still good, but I'm not sure why my camera is making this screen look so amazing on the viewfinder, which is a little bit strange. Same thing here. This everything is a little bit brighter. There is less shadow and this picture is just less dark than what you see on the screen. This one actually looks pretty similar to what we see, and it's nice. And here as well, no way those trees are actually that red. So They look good, but they're not like AMOLED level quality. So this one, it actually looks better in person as opposed to the viewfinder. It looks like what the camera is showing is a little bit washed out compared to what you see in real life. This one looks fine, and this one looks fine. So yeah, the screen here is very good, but just take the first few photos with a grain of salt because they don't look that deep and that saturated like AMOLED screens. Max brightness is pretty good as well. This is not max brightness yet, and it's already pretty bright. Max brightness gets even brighter, and it looks very, very good. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the audio here, and I'm actually quite impressed with the volume of the audio, even with the sound enhancer off. The max volume here is very loud that you can hear it in pretty much any situation unless you're like beside a fighter jet or something. The audio quality is also not bad. There is a tiny bit of distortion at max volume, but in terms of the clarity, it's not bad. In terms of the bass, there's actually a little bit of bass in there, which is quite surprising, and there's mids and highs as well. So have a listen to this Jedi with a GoPro. So now let's talk about the software that Oukitel has put on here. This is some stock Android or almost stock Android. There are some icon packs, as you can see over here, to customize some of the default icons. But the launcher here looks pretty normal. And if you swipe down and access the settings menu, it looks a little bit different. I think the icons on the sides are a little bit changed for some of the icons over here. But apart from that, everything is pretty stock. So in terms of speed and launching apps, the Helio P20 here actually does a fairly decent job. So if you don't load anything in the RAM, it does take a split second to load. It's definitely nothing too crazy, but you still do see that slight lag as you're opening bigger apps for the first time without loading them in the RAM. But once you load them in the RAM, then the launching time becomes instant. So if I launch Chrome again, see how it launches instantly. If I launch music again, launches instantly. Same thing with YouTube, which I just loaded into the RAM. No problem at all. And there's 4 gigs of RAM, so you don't have to worry about multitasking either. And in terms of gaming, I could play the intense games such as Asphalt 8 And in terms of gaming, I could play the intense games such as Asphalt Extreme pretty well. And here's some footage for you to check out. I'm actually really impressed by the camera quality on the Oukitel Mix 2. Looks like Oukitel is stepping up their camera game, while companies like Vernier, Ulefone, and Maze have kind of dropped into the background. There is a ton of detail in the photos that the Oukitel Mix 2 takes, especially in the close-ups. Look at this wall. It's not that interesting, but the cracks and crevices are so detailed, and the bokeh effect is amazing. The separation between the foreground and the background is just superb. I did find the camera had trouble focusing on tricky things like white on white or snow on snow, but it didn't happen too often. Again, this close-up of a dying flower looks quite stunning and is something that the Vernier and Ulefone Power 3, they are able to do a photo like this. It's just more difficult and they do it less often. The front-facing camera is fairly average, and you know the saying, the camera adds 10 pounds or 5 kilos? Well, this camera adds like 20 pounds to my face. I look like an obese man now. Quality is fine though. Now the Oukitel Mix 2 can take up to 2K video, and I have to say that I'm fairly impressed with the 2K video quality. To be honest, the 2K quality isn't as good as like true 2K downsampled or something like that, but it's more like a very good 1080p camera. Good detail, good colors, all around a decent camera. All in all, I'm very impressed with the camera Oukitel has put in this phone. It far outpaces many other cameras from similar MTK phones from other companies. Alright, so I hope you did enjoy my unboxing and quick review of the Oukitel Mix 2. I'm actually quite impressed with this phone. I wasn't expecting to be surprised by anything in this phone, but I was actually very surprised with the camera quality on this phone. It looks like the camera quality here, it looks like Oukitel has really spent some time to optimize the camera here, as opposed to, other phones that I've tested in the past. Alright, if you want to know more information about the Oukitel Mix 2, check out my link in the description down below. The link has the full specifications to the phone. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Likes and subs would definitely be appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.